All right, real quick idea for you. So Bitcoin 1 hour chart. So yesterday we had this double top. The price action moved all the way down. I drew this. Let me just show you how well this lines up. And so I just saw this morning. And if you see, there's one tiny wick right here, right? So that gives me the 3 touches on the bottom that I need as far as building this idea for being a rising channel, right? Rising wedge, which I mean, 68% chance this breaks to the downside. And then if you hold down control and you slide this over, like this lines up perfectly parallel. 1 touch, 2 touch, essentially there's quite a few touches. And then in here as well, okay? So valid rising channel, rising wedge. 68% chance this breaks to the downside. Now, you've got possible hidden bullish divergence, right? You see there's a low here. And if you get a little bounce out of the price action, that'll confirm the hidden bullish divergence, which will give you uptrend continuation, right? I mean, you've got some percentages that say you break lower here, but with any trade, there's a risk, right? And this is all about managing risk. And you want to be in trades with low risk, lowest risk as possible. But what you consider here is you also have hidden bullish divergence on the histogram. But remember, on the histogram, it's easy because, so the histogram is an indicator where, I mean, it could go from 1,000 to 1,000, right? Whereas the RSI is an oscillator. So it just basically moves from 0 to 100, right? It's either going to be, I mean, at its max, it's 100, which rarely you see, right? Over bought is 70, right? So you have a tendency to get reversals up in this area. Oversold is below 30, but it oscillates from, 0 to 100. And so you can find better clarity and actually better signals as far as divergence goes on the RSI, because I mean, this thing would have to move down considerably to here. If it breaks down right now, this would pull the RSI down here into oversold, which would negate this possible hidden bullish divergence. But if it bounces here and gets confirmation of this swing low, you'll see uptrend continuation, at least one more swing up here, right? You still have this major trend line that's been rejecting the price action multiple times. Bitfinex whales opened a ton of shorts right here. I pulled up the shorts charts. And then the most important thing is, like, you might get one more bounce here, right? And so then you go over to, say, sushi, and you can start to kind of put in an idea where you might get the same type of reversal idea here, right? Because it looks, if Bitcoin reverses, then sushi USDT will reverse, right? The USDT traded pair altcoin. Well, then this is down here oversold, right? You don't have the divergence here possible because this is a low and then this is a lower low. This is a low. This is a lower low, right? So it matches. But you got your stochastic RSI starting to point up, right? Once that moves into this purple area, you'll see good upside continuation. So you got bounce ideas right now for sushi USDT. Okay. So, I mean, do you want to go to sushi up and look at something similar to this idea? You don't, I mean, you don't have the same support level, but you do have oversold RSI. The stochastic is oversold and trying to curve higher. I mean, this is really dependent on Bitcoin holding. And so as soon as you get this bounce here, if it happens, if it doesn't happen, this is completely negated. Right. So, I mean, you want to wait for some level of confirmation here. But the main thing I want to do in this video is kind of point out to you guys, like, what I'm looking at. Right. These setups are a lot easier to post when you're not just trading this like little bit of chop. Like, we need some uptrend continuation, right? We need a macro uptrend. As soon as this price action breaks out of here, it's so much easier to trade. Right. Until then, it's just a bunch of choppy price action. Right. Where if you're new, potentially study videos and you get up to speed before this market takes off again. At some point, Bitcoin's going to bounce, right? We have to take full advantage of Bitcoin bouncing. But really, I just wanted to kind of reach out to you guys and kind of help you understand that, if this possible hidden bullish does get confirmed, then potentially it would be very relevant on sushi USDT, which may be relevant on sushi up as far as trying to put in a bounce here, based on the RSI being oversold, based on this RSI being oversold, okay? these oversold bounces, real quick with sushi, or just trading in a downtrend, I want you to understand, like, there's not a bunch of upside. If you're only trading spot long, which we do, like there's nail the bottom, and it's not really a setup. Like there's no price action to trade. We have to wait for like these altcoins to bottom, and so so this market structure is built, and so we can trade it, right? We need this market structure, but this keeps rolling over, right? And so, for example, like right here, the only way you would have got into a trade is that there's a double bottom on the RSI, and then you get upside continuation, and then it rolls over, right? So if you don't know what you're doing, and potential for this is why they're higher risk trades. Same thing here. I mean, you got a nice double bottom here. You look how far oversold this is, but look, you've got this is oversold, and then this is oversold as well, and it turns into a double bottom, and it gets confirmed here, and then you get a nice move. So if you would have got in on this double bottom, which you would have only got in really based on this as being this low is a higher low than the previous low. There's a video on higher lows and opening trades on higher lows, but this is more advanced trading, right? And so as soon as the market starts to work with us a little bit, then I'll be able to post a lot easier to trade setups, a lot better setups. Like you need the best setups are big. They're larger setups. Like this is only going to have a little bit of upside because it's based on this measured move from this distance to here. Right. And so, essentially, I mean, there's still some profits to be made. I mean, if you would have bought the higher low, though, you'd have bought at $7.75 and potentially taken profits here up around $9 or so. Right. But if you're waiting on the breakout double bottom to be confirmed, and then you got a very good retest right here. You see that? You got a very good retest right here. And then from that point, I mean, you could have essentially made $1.40 per sushi that you owned. Right. And so, again, understand, like, this is not easy trading. Like, this could easily, the support could break, and you maybe end up with a double bottom down here. But what we look for, and where this gets a lot easier, is when these altcoins start putting in bottoming patterns. Like, what we'll see is a lot of these ascending triangles where you have these larger patterns. And it takes time for the price action to develop so that I can post the setups. Like, maybe you have something, well, it looks like it might be breaking down. So, I mean, but you get some type of bottoming pattern here. The price action, you get this larger pattern, and then this builds upside move of this distance, right? And so we need, I don't know if you guys were around, you saw EOS. Like, EOS did nothing forever, and then it took off and like 4x'd because it did nothing forever. It had all that market structure built out over years. Right? Over years. And the bigger the patterns are, the larger the upside. And so we need large bullish bottoming patterns. But what happens is sushi just keeps rolling over because Bitcoin does. Right? This price action hasn't been amazing at all to trade. And so I just want to reach out to you guys and kind of let you know my thought process and just what I'm seeing, just like quick knowledge dump to don't worry, we're going to get you guys up to speed. As soon as this altcoin market takes off, Bitcoin breaks out to the upside, we're going to make a ton of money in these altcoins. This is Bitcoin shorts. So this is on Bitfinex, right? You can see all the Bitfinex whales are opening up a ton of short positions. This actually started at the Bitcoin double top, right? And then, like, this is the same reason why I made the whole video about the down tokens, and sushi posted a sushi down setup and a Bitcoin down setup, which I'd never done, right? And so just understand, like, everybody went short right here, right? And so now the question is, will this hold, right? Barely hanging on, the bulls are. If it doesn't, I mean, potentially you have some type of double top pattern here, and you've got a rising wedge where, I mean, potentially you would pull your measured move here. You could see a move down to 30,000 again if this breaks to the downside, right? And so again, we're down here testing the lows of the range, just kind of depending on how this plays out. And so it's this choppy price action. It's high maintenance. It's not easy to trade, and there's the risk is higher. The rewards are lower. So a lot of people choose not to trade it. And so again, just be patient, get some more clarity on this, and I'll keep you updated daily.